Hey, spooky kids! New comic book reviews here for a new episode of The Pull List, and today we are talking about X-Men Gold, number 3, and Ghostbusters 101, number 2. Let's start with X-Men Gold with 50 classic hits by the original artists. And it's written by Mark Guggenheim, and the penciler, well, I'm not going to mention his name. So, hey, we're just not going to be talking about you. We're going to pick up in the story the Brotherhood of Evil mutants have kidnapped the mayor, and I assume at this point it's not J. Jonah Jameson anymore because they don't show his face. Yeah, Lindsay Jameson was the mayor of New York for a while. I don't know where that went. So anyway, they've kidnapped him and made a big deal, like, hey, we're mutants and we kidnapped the mayor, screw you! And of course, this woman, Nance, who is a very vehement anti-mutant spokesperson in the public eye, was like, oh yeah, hey, let's go on TV and really, nail it. Meanwhile, Kitty brings on not only the team, but also a couple of the students who are, like, begging. Like, there's a whole bunch of students who are just begging to go with them on this. And she goes, okay, you have some experience. This is pretty important. I'm really loving Kitty in charge. She's doing a fantastic job, actually. I love Guggenheim's way of handling her, and also Logan as well, because he kind of like was captured by them, and he. By the way, the last issue I think was great, where he got free for a minute and got the address, and simply just calls Kitty up and goes, "Hey, get a pen." Like, eliminates all that other kind of garbage about finding places. Of course, the action ensues with them taking on a whole bunch of the mutants. That's when they realize at the end that all this was manufactured. Oh no, what? That's impossible. By Nance herself, because obviously she wants to further the agenda of rounding out mutants and deporting them. And what better way to actually fund like terrorists, which is why they call themselves the evil mutants. Which, of course, since the 90s they've been starting to call themselves, just the Brotherhood of Mutants, because that is dumb. If you think you're right, then you're not going to call yourself evil. But she obviously has them, call themselves that, which I thought was really well done. And Kitty takes some of the mutants and goes to her house and goes, "Hey, we know what you did. We can't prove it, but we're watching, so watch yourself." Oh, so we'll see. And I love this moment where she tells them, you're pathetically naive. Who do you think you are? And she says, "We're the X-Men." It's like, yeah, okay. This is definitely Mark Guggenheim's way of telling the audience, like, oh, okay, we're back. This is back. I mean, the story arc is called Back to Basics. This is like, okay, we're done with all that time travel. Well, not really, but all that weird crap we've been doing for the last few years, and the fact that we've been kind of spread out, and Marvel and 20th Century Fox. No, we're back. Screw all that. We are back, and it's really good to have it. Enjoyed this issue a lot. Enjoyed the first story arc quite a bit. Really, really loved it. I'm looking forward to the new artist, whoever takes over after this. And I know characters like Professor X come back to life every few years and stuff like that. I am totally cool with this being the status quo from now on. None of this changing every 6 months bullshit. This is great. I liked it a lot. 5 RAM chips. Now, let's go to Ghostbusters! And this is done by the usual team of Ghostbusters creators. Eric Burnham and Dan Schoen. And let's see, we have a nice explanation of what's been going on in the Ghostbusters comics, because there's not really an ongoing. It's kind of... there was an ongoing? I don't know. Well, we go to the universe with the Answer the Call Ghostbusters, where they go to Bushwood, or a golf course that looks like Bushwood. I mean, they even run into Ted Knight, which is great. The dialogue is really good. Yeah, I gotta say, Burnham really has a good handle on these new Ghostbusters characters. I think his dialogue for them is really pretty tight. And actually, he handles Kevin better in this one, who decides to use Cheese Whiz to make himself look like real Ghostbusters Egon. Probably my favorite is the original Ghostbusters, or Prime Ghostbusters, they're calling them in here, have a commercial, and it's hilarious, where they mock up a ghost and set it on fire. That's extremely funny. This is actually funnier than the commercial in the original '84 movie. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Burham, that I have like constantly criticized you about not trying to be as funny with your Ghostbuster scripts. This is hilarious. This makes up for everything. I apologize. I love it. Essentially what they're doing is, this isn't an advertisement for their business. This is their advertisement for their training program. They, you know, want to bring in new Ghostbusters. Well, Janine is not totally on board with that. Where we bring in like another young guy, and he actually visits and sees this character who I haven't seen before. I actually haven't read some Ghostbusters comics in a minute. So this is Jenny Moran? Jenny Moran? Yeah, Jenny Moran. And she is a ghost, and she apparently is sort of like, in a way, like Slimer, like a ghost hanging out, and, you know, not any trouble or anything like that. And she's also dating Ray, which actually is kind of an ingenious idea, since Ray dreamed about getting a blowjob once from a ghost. So, of course, he would be the one to date a ghost. Oh, it's funny, by the way, in the description here, it says that Venkman thinks the weirdest thing about her is that she's dating she's dating Ray. Oh, and then of course we get closer to the actual meeting. The kids stick their hand through the portal and like attract a ghost, and this ghost demon thing wants to know where that came from. And we have this end scene with Abby and Kevin. They're talking, and Kevin feels like he just sees a couple of faded images of a couple. Let's see, this is Ray and and Peter. Ray and Peter just walking and talking, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's weird." Oh, of course, Kevin, being a dumbass, doesn't bring it up. This one's really great. 5 RAM chips. I love this issue a lot. The art is usually beautiful as normal. You know, despite the fact that the Answer the Call Ghostbusters are like brand new, boy, man, they capture them excellent. Like the art, and you know, just even, you know, just the way the artist like really captures like some of the characters, like, you know, really gets them subtly perfect, and the writing is solid. Dig this one a lot if you're digging Ghostbusters comics. This one's a must. This is a really good crossover. 5 RAM chips. Well, that's going to be enough talking about comics today, but hey, Krampus in the Corner is now available for general audiences. No more of this Kickstarter stuff. Now you can get it. You can either get the doll and book together, or separately, you know, whatever your deal is. I don't care. Check out SilentOrchidStudios.com, and maybe you can order something. I don't know. Push the button, Lindsay.
They don't play the song on the radio. They don't show that it's on the radio. They don't